Hi, it's Miss Olivia. I'm your teacher, and I am going to teach you more vocabulary through the stories. Hope you will like this video. Let's get started. The story today named The Man in the Brown Coat. I'm writing a history of the things men do. I have written 3 such histories, and I am but a young man. Already I have written 400,000 words. My wife is somewhere in his house where for hours now I have been sitting and writing. She's a tall woman with black hair turning a little gray. Listen, she's going softly up a flight of stairs. All day she goes softly about, doing housework in our house. I came here to this town from another town in the state of Iowa. My father was a workman, a house painter. He did not rise in the world as I have done. I worked my way through college and become a historian. We own his house in which I sit. This is my rooms in which I work. Already I have written 3 histories of peoples. I have told how states were formed and battles found. You may see my books standing straight on the shelves of libraries. They stand up like centuries. I'm tall, like my wife, and my shoulder are a little stooped. Although I write boldly, I am a shy man. I like being at the work alone in his room, with the door closed. There are many books here. Nations march back and forth in the books. It is quiet here, but as the books a great thundering goes on. My wife has a serious, almost stern look. Sometimes she thought I have been concerning her frightened me. In the afternoon, she leaves our house and goes for a walk. Something she goes to the store. Sometimes to visit a neighbor. There is a yellow house opposite our house. My wife goes out at a side door and passes along the street between our house and the yellow house. The side door of our house bangs. There is a moment waiting. My wife's face floats across the yellow backgrounds of a picture. Little things are growing big in my mind. The window before the desk makes a little framed place like a picture. Every day I sit staring. I was with a bold sensation of something impending. My hands trembles. The face that floats through the picture does something I don't understand. The face floats, then it stops. It goes from the right hand side to the left hand side. Then it stops. The face comes into my mind and goes out. The faces float in my mind. The pens had fallen from my fingers. The house is silent. The eyes is floating face and are turned away from me. My wife is a girl who came here to this town for another of the towns in the state of Ohio. We keep our servants, but while my wife often sweeps the floors, and she sometimes makes the bed in which we sleep together. We sit together in the evenings, heard the little voice. I heard the voice of fear crying when she was first overtaken with passion and crawls into my arms. Again, I heard the voice of fear when her lips said words of courage to me as we sat together on the first evening after we were married and moved into this house. It would be strange if I could sit here, as I am doing now, while my own face floated across the picture made by the yellow house and the window. It would be strange and beautiful if I could meet her since my wife, come into her presence, the woman's face whose face floated across my picture, does know nothing of me. I know nothing of her. She has gone off along a street. The voices of her mind are talking. I'm here in this room, as alone as ever any man's God made. It was so strange and beautiful if I could float my face across my picture. If my floating face could come into her presence. If it could come into the presence of any man's or any woman. That would be a strange and beautiful thing to have happen. I will tell you what Sometimes the holy life of this world float in human face in my mind. The unconscious face of the world stop and stand still before me. Why do I say not say a word out of myself to the others? Why, in all our lives together, have I never been able to break through the wall to my wife? Already I have written 300, 400,000 words. Are there no words to lead into life? Some day I shall speak to myself. Some day I shall make a testament unto myself.